Good evening, Colorado. I'm Kelsey Wort, and welcome to the Channel 7 5 o'clock news. If you don't have to be out right now, folks, don't be, because this storm we are having is one of the worst in the decade and is causing incredibly dangerous driving conditions. About a dozen drivers have already found themselves in accidents in just about an hour, so please take caution. In other news, just this morning, we were fortunate enough to get an interview with the manager of the Overlook, Stuart Ullman, discussing the hotel's reputation as one of the scariest sites in Colorado in the past and plans for the future.
Okay. Good morning, Mr. Ullman. How are you?
Fine, thanks. And yourself?
Good, thank you. Now, Mr. Ullman, we are in the Overlook currently, and it is such a beautiful location.
Yes, it truly is. The Overlook provides a sanctuary for the bitter cold, has beautiful architecture, and the view from any given window in the hotel overlooking the mountains is what really gave the name to this hotel.
Yes, I've done some research on this hotel. I found that there are 110 guest quarters. 30 of them, all suites, are on the third floor. 10 of them, including the presidential suite, are in the west wing, 10 in the center, and 10 in the east wing. The hotel is beautiful, but it seems to have a dark past.
Unfortunately, it does, but it's better to focus on the luxuries of the hotel, such as the wonderful scenery and the spacious suites.
Yes, that's all wonderful, but can you tell us about what has happened to the previous caretaker of the hotel, Mr. Ullman?
Yes, well, each winter we need a caretaker to look over the hotel for the winter months, when it is implausible to keep the hotel operating, and selecting the caretaker is a crucial aspect in the well-being of the hotel. And although I hand-select the candidate, I may have made a minor lapse of judgment in the last one.
Could you elaborate, please?
Well, his name was Grady, Delbert Grady, had a wife and 2 girls, and I thought it would be a good idea choosing a family man for the job. Turns out isolation really does something to some people, because after a while, Grady started experiencing some cabin fever, went a little crazy, and murdered his wife and 2 kids. He axed his daughters and then shot himself and his wife.
Were there any signs when interviewing Mr. Grady that could have led you to believe he would do something like this?
Well, I don't think an interview could really foresee a man brutally murdering his wife and kids, but I could tell some things about his character were a little off. He was a drinker, and just gave off a negative sense of energy.
When you're looking for a caretaker, what do you usually look for? You would think such a unique hotel would need a special kind of person.
Obviously, we look for someone who can pay attention to detail, but can be meticulous in the caretaking duties. Someone who can become familiar with the Overlook, and obviously someone who will be able to take the time for their job.
Does it ever concern you that these people have all this time off?
No, it doesn't.
So have you chosen a caretaker for this winter yet?
Yes, we have just chosen our caretaker, actually. His name is Mr. Jack Torrance, his wife Wendy, and his son Danny.
A family man again?
Well, yes.
And what is Mr. Torrance like?
He seems like a character. He had a history with drinking, and I'm not sure if he seems steady exactly.
You seem rather uneasy about him. If you weren't sure about his character, then why did you hire him?
I only do what I'm told to.
And Mr. Ullman, how do you feel about the hotel's reputation as one of the scariest spots in Colorado?
I feel like although bad things have happened in the past, and it's hard to shake events like this out of people's minds, but the hotel definitely has an eerie sense of beauty.
Thank you so much for your time, Mr. Ullman.
No problem. Thank you.
There you have it. The Overlook is officially closed for the season with the care of Mr. Jack Torrance. Make sure to visit the Overlook during the open season and experience the eerie beauty of the wonderful hotel.